They say power corrupts, but absolute power. That doesn't just corrupt, it disappears from sight entirely. You've never voted for him, you won't find him trending. But the money in your pocket, the loan on your home, the interest rates that dictate your survival, are all tied to him. He doesn't run a country, he runs your currency. And through that, he runs you. Meet the man who, from the shadows, controls every bank on earth, not with guns, not with armies, but with a pen and a signature that shifts billions. His name is Augustin Carstens, and most of the world has no idea who he is. But if you're living under a roof, holding a job, or saving money in a bank, he's already shaped your future. Carstens is the head of the Bank for International Settlements, or as some call it, the central bank of central banks. Think about that. You know your country has a central bank, the Federal Reserve in the US, the Bank of England, the European Central Bank. But who tells them what to do? Who coordinates global interest rates? Who decides how much money gets printed or destroyed? Who engineers the world economy? The BIS, headquartered in Basel, Switzerland, was founded in 1930, but it doesn't act like any normal institution. It's immune from national laws. Police can't raid it. Governments can't regulate it. It exists above sovereignty, above the law. And right now, it's run by one man, Carstens, a man once dismissed as just another bureaucrat from Mexico. But in the financial underworld, he's called the banker's banker, because when your central bank is in crisis, he's the one who answers the call. In 2020, while nations were scrambling during the pandemic, Carstens was already speaking of something most people didn't understand: central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. Not just digital money, but programmable money, controlled not by markets or supply and demand, but by the state, by algorithms, by him. In his own chilling words, Carstens once admitted, "With cash, we don't know who's using a $100 bill. But with a CBDC, we'll have absolute control over the rules and regulations of that use." Absolute control. Let that sink in. Because in a world where physical cash disappears, every transaction, every purchase, every movement out can be tracked, restricted, denied, and you don't get a vote. Because he's not elected. He's selected by a group of central bankers whose names you'll never know, operating inside a fortress in Basel where public scrutiny doesn't exist. Their meetings are private, their agendas sealed, their minutes unpublished, and yet, after every financial collapse, after every shift in monetary policy, their fingerprints are there. When inflation rises, they knew before you did. When banks fail, they saw the storm before the first drop fell. Because they don't respond to crises, they orchestrate them. And behind every whisper, every panic, every unexpected market event, stands the BIS. Now ask yourself, why would the most powerful financial minds in the world push toward a cashless future? Why would they want full control of a system that once had checks, balances, and privacy? Because once money becomes code, they write the rules. They can deny you access, freeze your account, set expiration dates on your paycheck, force spending in sectors they favor, and crush dissent by starving it of currency. Sound like fiction? It's already being tested in multiple countries: China, Nigeria, Sweden, even the US is exploring a digital dollar. And Carstens, he's not just watching, he's guiding it. In quiet boardrooms, at global summits, behind closed sessions with the IMF and World Bank, he's laying the blueprint. But here's the terrifying part: no matter who wins the elections, no matter what party you support, this system remains. Because this isn't political power. It's monetary sovereignty, and most nations gave that up long ago. Governments borrow from central banks. Central banks answer to the BIS, and the BIS answers to no one. Think about it. Every time a war breaks out, a recession hits, a bailout occurs, who gets richer? Who prints more money and lends it at interest to nations already drowning in debt? It's not the people, it's the system, his system. Carstens isn't alone. He is backed by a council of unelected technocrats who speak in sterile terms like liquidity, quantitative easing, and monetary tightening, but what they're really saying is this: we control how much life you can afford. We decide whether your business gets funded, whether your home retains value, whether your currency survives the next shock. And if we decide it doesn't, you lose everything, but we remain protected, untouchable, unaccountable, because Carstens doesn't need to declare war. He can devalue your nation from a boardroom. He doesn't need armies, he has algorithms. He doesn't need borders, he has the keys to the banks that run your world. And the most dangerous part, he doesn't need you to know his name. He just needs you to keep spending and keep trusting the system he built. So next time your savings lose value overnight, next time a new financial emergency demands another $1 trillion fix, next time a global consensus changes the rules of your economy, ask yourself, who benefits? Who planned this? Who controls the valves of money itself? And then remember this: there is a man in Switzerland, with no term limits, no voters, no borders to obey, holding the strings of a system that touches every human life. This isn't a conspiracy, it's a reality you are never supposed to see. Because once you understand who controls the banks, you begin to see who controls everything. And in that quiet truth lies the real power. Not in governments, not in democracy, but in the man who controls money itself, the man you've never met, but who has already decided what your tomorrow looks like.